Hello, I'm Erin Ryan. I'm the owner of Crystal Lake Reiki LLC, and I'm a certified Reiki master teacher and founder of 5-Element Dragonfire Reiki. I have a master's degree in traditional Chinese medicine and a bachelor's in nutrition. And today I'm going to show you the hand positions for doing a Reiki treatment on someone else. So you want to make sure that your client is as comfortable as possible. So I actually like to have at least 2 different types of bolsters. This is my small one, this is my big one. If you have a medium-sized one, that's great too. And what this does is it releases the low back, so it takes tension off of it. So I know that Laura actually likes the big bolster. So make sure that you put it underneath the sheet and right underneath the knees. Then I'm gonna make sure that she is warm enough, and so I'm going to give or offer a blanket today. And I know that Laura really likes the blanket. She likes to be snuggly. After that, then we're gonna move up to her head. Now we're gonna make sure that your client has proper neck support. So this pillow, I'm actually gonna pull it out, Laura, has 2 different types of neck support. And so there's a smaller one and a bigger one. So it just depends on what's most comfortable for them. I know for Laura, she actually does not prefer a pillow, which is perfect because when the spine is straight, the energy moves more fluidly. So I'm gonna put this down here today. For Biosen scanning, you're gonna scan your client's entire body, specifically the midline. And so typically you're gonna take your left hand, your non-dominant hand. Today I'm gonna do my right. And you're going to put it first above the top of the head, and you're going to feel the energy if you can. You wanna look for, is it cool or is it tingling? Is there a lack of energy? Is there heat? Is there color? Some people will see color or get images or just a knowingness. And then when you are moving through, you're gonna go up to the third eye area and you're gonna adjust again here. You don't wanna go too quickly or too slowly. What we're doing is really looking for what feels different so that when you're doing your Reiki hand positions, you can actually spend more time in that area. So I'm gonna move quickly because this is a demonstration. Normally I would spend a little bit more time. So the next area is the throat. Again, you can adjust where your hand goes. Right now, for instance, I can feel my hand wanting to go actually closer to her body. It's actually like a force, like a gravity to it. But I'm gonna keep moving along. So next we go to the heart space, adjusting, feeling, noticing anything different. The energy will speak to you, and so you have to learn how that is going to work for you. Next, we'll go to the solar plexus area, same thing. Then down to the tummy. And again, I am moving very quickly. I normally would spend more time. Then we're gonna go to the root. If you would like to, you can then go down to the knees. Some practitioners do this, some don't. But any major joints of the body tend to have energy that gets lodged there. And then down to the ankles and feet area too. And so you can make note of this and spend more time in those areas during your Reiki session, or you can actually create almost like a mini Reiki session here, spend a little bit more time at each. But when you are finished, you're gonna wanna go back up to the head and rescan and see, go a little bit faster this time, kind of see if everything feels smooth. You don't wanna go too fast here or too slow, just long enough to feel the difference in the body. And again, for Biosen scanning, we want to make sure that we are really setting the intention that you're only going to become aware of areas in the body that need Reiki healing. And this just helps, especially if you're extra psychic or intuitive, for instance. You don't want to pick up on any other information going on with your client that is personal or does not actually apply to the session. Now we're going to set the intention for this healing today. You can come back into Gasho or prayer position, either in front of your heart or bring your hands to your third eye, whatever feels good to you. And you can say out loud or in your mind that you are setting the intention for the highest healing and good of all. A typical Reiki session lasts around an hour. I mean, it can really go from 15 minutes to over an hour, even an hour and a half. It just depends on how much time you and your client have. But you're gonna wanna spend at least a few minutes if you can at each hand position. But for today, for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna spend a few seconds at each area. The first hand placement or hand position, number one, is going to be over the eyes. Now, you have a couple options here. You can hover over the eyes, you can lightly touch if you ask permission from your client, or sometimes people will take a blindfold or a soft piece of cloth and put it over the eyes so that you can lightly touch. It's really up to you. I know that Laura is okay with light touch, so I'm just going to lightly touch, making sure that my elbows are anchored here. You don't want to cause yourself any kind of upper back pain. And I'm just going to lightly set my hands right over, cupping the actual eye area. So I'm not touching her eyes, I'm just touching her cheek very lightly and her forehead. The second hand position is cupping the ears. The next hand position, number 3, is going to be underneath the head. Now you have a couple options here, so I'm going to run through all of them so that you know what you can do and also what I prefer. So the first option is to ask your client to lift their head up. So Laura, lift your head up, and then you just put your hands underneath and have them lower their head. Now the second option, so I'm going to pull my hands out, is you have them look to one side and the other side. So Laura, can you look to one side? And then you're going to put your hand there and have her look to the other side. And then you put your other hand underneath and then straight forward. And there you are. Now, my preferred is actually neither of these because I really feel like this takes your client out of the experience by having them have to move. So I'm going to gently pull my hands out. And instead, I like to use the sheet. So what you do is you take your left hand and you pull the sheet taut, and then take your right hand and simply slide it underneath. And then you're going to take your left hand and come from the side and just slide it underneath. And this does not require your client to move at all or to interrupt the session. For the fourth hand position, I'm going to gently slide my hands out and place them on Laura's shoulders. The next hand position is over the throat, which is a sensitive area. So first I'm actually going to move Laura's hair out. So Laura, if you could just move slightly. Typically I would do this in the beginning of the session, but that's okay to do it now. And you have two options. Either you can gently put your hands hovering around the throat. I do not recommend touching the throat. Or you can put one hand hovering above the throat and then one underneath at the back of the neck. So I've moved to the side of her body so that I can access the next hand position, which is the heart. So you have a few different options here. One is to hover with both hands above, and you do want to hover because this is a sensitive area, especially for women. For men, if they're comfortable, you can incorporate light touch. So hands on top of one of the other. You can put them side by side, or what I like to do is use the sheet. So I'm actually going to take my right hand and I'm going to put it underneath my top sheet, and I'm going to slide it between the shoulder and the ear to the level of the heart. So what we're actually going to do is sandwich the heart, and I'll show you. And then you put your other hand over, and you can't see it, but I am now underneath her heart space and above it. For the next hand position, you have a couple different options here too. It's at the level of the solar plexus. So you can stack your hands either hovering or with light touch, as long as you have permission, or you can put the hands side by side. Or what I actually like to do is sandwich, one below and one above. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently move my client's hand right there at the level of the hip, and I'm gonna pull the sheet. This time I'm gonna pull the sheet with my right hand, and I'm gonna slide my left hand under so it's under her solar plexus, and then I'm gonna sandwich. So I will show you. I'm actually gonna take off my ring too. And so you can't see it, but my hand is now directly under her solar plexus. And so I'm just going to use light touch and create that sandwich. For the next position, we're actually just gonna slide down. So my left hand is underneath her solar plexus. I'm gonna move it down behind her belly button area, and I'll take my right hand and just slide it down. This is really amazing doing it this way, where you have one hand at the back and one above, because then you actually don't need to flip your client over. A lot of times I've seen practitioners halfway through the session, they'll have to interrupt the healing that's taken place by having their client flip so that they are then face down. This way you actually don't have to, while being able to give Reiki to these areas. And I will say, even though different clients have different body types, shapes, and sizes, it does not matter what size the body, this always works, because we are using the top sheet to create a very smooth movement with your hand. For the next hand position, I'm actually going to pull my left hand out. I'm going to gently take my client's hand and place it back down on the table and cover her back up with the blanket. We're going to move down to the root area, and so for this you're going to hover. You have a couple options here. You can stack the hands, you can put them side by side, but what I like to do is I like to hover and then take my right hand and actually put it down towards the ground. The reason for this is I do find that the energy likes to move. Yes, it's moving into the client, but it's also moving out. So this way, if there's any excess root energy, it also helps with grounding your client to the earth. The energy can go down. For the next hand position, I'm just going to move over to the hips. Now, if you're high enough in your chair, you can do it sitting down, but I'm actually gonna move and go side to side here, either side of her hips, by standing up. Next, we're gonna move down to her knees. I'm sitting back down in my stool. Here we go. Next, we're gonna slide down to her ankles on either side. And last, we're gonna actually go to her feet. So you have a few different options here. You can put each hand on top of each foot. You can instead do one hand underneath each foot and on top. Or you can do one on top, like I said, and then on the bottom. You just wanna make sure that you hit the top and the bottom of each foot, however you do it, in whatever order. Next, we're actually gonna do a sweep from head to toe 3 times. So I'm gonna go to the head and sweep. I like to do it in one fluid motion. You can either go up and offer it up to the divine, or you can sweep down and give it to Mama Gaia, the earth. It's up to you. I'll do it 2 more times. Some people will show you like to do it more like this. It's really up to you what feels good to you. And we'll do it one more time. Then I'm actually going to do a cord cutting. This disconnects your energy from your client. So I'm gonna imagine that invisible cord, and I'm just gonna do a little snipping motion. You can also do a karate chop, or you can just imagine that cord burning or falling away. And then after that, you're going to offer gratitude. If you'd like to, you can come to Gasho at this point in front of your heart space, or bring it up to the third eye and offer gratitude to Reiki, to your client, to you, for this healing that has just taken place. You'll also want to do Kanyoku, or dry bathing. Typically I do this before the session and also after my client has left. I don't tend to do it when my client is there, because if they can see, they might be like, why is she doing that? So how we do that is we're just gonna take our left hand, put it out. We're gonna sweep the energy out, then put your right palm up, sweep the energy out from shoulder to palm. And then we're gonna take our right hand and sweep the energy down out our right hip, and then take our left hand to the right shoulder and sweep the energy down to the left hip. And I typically like to do this 3 times. So I'll show you a little bit quicker. And then I'll show you as fast as I normally do it, which is like this. And I kind of like to do a little flick at the end.